The past never really leaves Heartland. It just waits for the right moment to ride back in. In this episode, old wounds reopen, forgotten faces return, and the Fleming Bartlett family learns that no matter how far you run, the past always finds a way home. When the past rides back isn't just another episode, it's a haunting reminder that healing means facing what once broke you. The episode begins with the soft light of dawn spilling across the Heartland Ranch. The horses stir in their stables, the air feels heavy with memories, and there's an uneasy calm, the kind that comes before something big. Amy walks out to the paddock, her hair tied loosely, her expression thoughtful. She runs her hand down Spartan's neck, her eyes distant, as if she's searching for answers in the quiet morning. There's peace on the surface, but deep down, something is brewing and she feels it. Life at the ranch seems to move as usual, but the silence feels different today. Lou is inside the house, pacing by the kitchen window, juggling a call about her duties as mayor. The tension in her voice tells us she's not just fighting political battles, she's fighting to keep her family life from slipping away again. Across the room, Jack sips his coffee, watching quietly. He knows that sometimes the hardest storms are the ones that start inside us. Meanwhile, Tim rides back into the ranch yard, dust rising behind his truck. His expression carries the weight of someone who's seen a ghost because in a way, he has. He's been hearing rumors that someone from his past has returned to Hudson, a name he hasn't spoken in years. You can see it in his eyes: fear, regret, and maybe a trace of hope. The camera lingers on him as he leans against his truck, staring off toward the hills. It's a moment heavy with unspoken emotion. Amy senses that change is coming. She's been training a troubled horse brought in by a new client, a horse with a history of fear and mistrust. The animal mirrors Amy's own emotional state. Every time it flinches or pulls away, she sees her own reflection, the part of her still struggling to move on from the losses she's faced. This parallel between Amy and the horse sets the emotional tone of the entire episode. As the morning goes on, the ranch fills with small moments that tell big stories. Katie helps with chores, complaining about school, while Jack listens with his gentle patience. Lou rushes off to a town meeting, leaving behind her coffee half drunk and her mind miles away. And Tim stands near the barn, pretending to be busy, but his thoughts are clearly somewhere else. There's a sense that Heartland itself, the land, the home, the family, is holding its breath, waiting for the past to walk through its doors again. Then, the quiet breaks. A familiar truck pulls up on the gravel road, its engine echoing through the valley. Amy looks up from the paddock, her eyes narrowing. Tim steps out from the barn, his jaw tightening as he sees the vehicle stop in front of the house. For a few seconds, everything freezes. The horses stop moving. The wind seems to die down. The door opens, and out steps a figure from long ago, someone they never expected to see again. The music swells softly, blending nostalgia with tension. The camera shifts between Amy, Tim, and Jack, each face showing shock, confusion, and a hint of fear. This is the moment the title comes to life. When the past rides back, the episode doesn't rush to explain who it is or why they've returned. Instead, it lingers in that suspense, letting the audience feel the weight of years pressing into a single moment. It's a classic Heartland opening, emotional, quiet, and powerful. The kind that says, something is about to change forever. As the scene fades, the screen cuts to black, and the title card appears. The familiar theme plays softly, a bittersweet reminder that no matter how peaceful Heartland seems, the past is always just one sunrise away from returning. The figure steps out of the truck, and for a long moment, no one speaks. The sound of the wind fills the silence. Then, Amy's voice breaks through, soft, uncertain. "Is that really you?" The man standing before her gives a small, knowing smile. It's Shane, Tim's estranged son, the one who left years ago after everything fell apart. His return isn't loud or dramatic, but it hits like a storm that's been waiting on the horizon. Shane's presence instantly pulls the past back into the present. For Tim, it's a punch to the heart: the years of guilt, the missed birthdays, the broken promises. He's frozen between pride and regret, unsure whether to step forward or stay back. Amy looks between them, feeling the weight of history she didn't cause but has to live with. Heartland has seen its share of reunions, but this one cuts deeper than most because this is a story of forgiveness that might never come easy. Shane isn't here for a warm reunion. He's back for answers and maybe closure. He's been hearing stories, whispers about the ranch, about how life moved on without him. His tone is calm, but his eyes are cold. He tells Tim he's not here to stay. He just wants to see the place one last time before deciding what to do next. But deep down, everyone knows it's not that simple. The past never walks back into your life without a reason. The tension spreads across the ranch like wildfire. Jack watches from a distance, his eyes heavy with understanding. He's seen this kind of pain before, family tearing itself apart while pretending everything's fine. He knows that if this isn't handled with care, it could undo years of healing. Lou, upon hearing the news, rushes back from her meeting, trying to keep things calm. But emotions don't listen to reason. Amy finds herself caught in the middle once again. She's the bridge between everyone, the one who feels too much and says too little. In one scene, she talks to Shane near the corral. The sunlight flickers on their faces as she tells him how much the ranch missed him. But Shane's answer stings. Maybe the ranch missed me. But did Dad? It's a quiet line, but it lands with the force of a heartbreak. The episode balances these emotional beats with breathtaking visuals, long shots of the hills, the horses galloping as if carrying the family's unspoken pain. The cinematography mirrors the theme, wide open spaces that still feel trapped by old memories. Later that evening, a storm rolls in. Rain lashes against the windows, thunder rumbling like the anger in Tim's chest. He and Shane finally face each other inside the barn, surrounded by the smell of hay and the sound of rain hitting the roof. The argument starts small about misunderstandings, lost time, and broken trust, but it grows until both men are shouting over the thunder. Then, suddenly, silence. Just the rain. And two men realizing how much they've lost. Shane turns away, whispering, "You can't fix what's already gone," and he walks out into the storm, leaving Tim standing in the half-dark, the light flickering behind him. The camera lingers on Tim's face, broken, regretful, but determined. This isn't the end of their story. It's just a moment everything cracks open. The past has returned, and now every choice will decide whether it destroys the family or finally sets them free. As the rain fades and the credits roll toward the next act, one truth remains. In Heartland, healing always begins when you stop running from the pain. The storm that tore across the ranch didn't just soak the earth, it drenched every heart at Heartland in a flood of old feelings. When morning comes, the sky is clear, but the air is thick with silence. The ranch looks calm, yet inside every character, a storm still brews. That's the beauty of Heartland. It's never about the noise. It's about the quiet after the noise. Amy is the first to face her reflection. Standing by the barn brushing Spartan, she speaks softly, not to anyone else, but to herself. The horse senses her unease. Every movement she makes is slow, careful, full of thought. Through him, Amy finds her grounding, but she's struggling with something deeper, the question of how much the past should define who we become. She's watching Tim and Shane, feeling the pain of a family trying to mend what time has torn apart. Amy's empathy becomes her silent burden. She's the heart of Heartland, always trying to fix others, even when she's still healing herself. Lou, on the other hand, is torn between two worlds, her duty as mayor and her duty as daughter. When she hears about the confrontation in the barn, guilt creeps in. She's been trying to prove she can handle everything, but moments like these remind her that leadership means more than politics. It's about the people you love. Later, she visits Tim, sitting beside him as he stares out over the fields. They talk little, but Lou's presence says what words can't. You're not alone. Even when you think you deserve to be. Tim, though, carries the heaviest load. He's built a life around strength, control, and moving forward, but Shane's return exposes the cracks in that armor. The night after their argument, he walks into the empty barn, the light dim and golden. He runs his hand along the old wood, remembering years of laughter, lessons, and loss. In his silence, there's a battle, pride versus regret. He whispers, almost to himself, "I thought letting go meant peace, but maybe it meant running." It's the kind of moment that defines Heartland, where vulnerability feels more powerful than strength. Meanwhile, Jack becomes the quiet glue holding them together. In one of the episode's most touching scenes, he finds Shane sitting by the river. The older man doesn't preach or scold. He just listens. He tells Shane, "Your dad's not perfect, but none of us are. What matters is that he's still trying." It's a small moment, but it bridges a wide gap. Shane doesn't respond right away, but his expression softens. The seed of understanding has been planted, and Jack, as always, is the steady hand guiding the family toward healing. Every scene in this section breathes emotion through small details: a shared glance, a trembling voice, a quiet pause. The camera doesn't rush. It lingers on faces, on gestures, on the weight of silence. The music's soft guitar strings and distant piano adds warmth to the ache. You can feel that everyone in Heartland is learning something, that forgiveness isn't about forgetting. It's about choosing to move forward. Together. By the end of the day, the storm has passed, both outside and within. The sun dips behind the hills, painting the sky in soft gold. Amy stands by the fence, watching Spartan graze peacefully, while Lou and Jack share a quiet laugh in the distance. Tim walks out from the barn. His steps slow but steady, and for the first time, there's no running, just facing what's in front of him. And though Shane hasn't decided whether to stay, something has shifted. The past has stopped chasing now. It's walking beside them. Heartland isn't just about family. It's about finding home in forgiveness, even when the road to it feels impossible. Night falls again over Heartland, and this time the darkness feels heavy, not with fear, but with truth waiting to be faced. The storm is gone, but what it left behind can't be washed away. The ranch glows softly under the porch lights. The crickets hum, and in that quiet, the moment of truth finally arrives. Tim stands near the corral, watching the horses move under the moonlight. He looks older tonight, not in age, but in spirit. His shoulders slump with years of guilt, but his eyes hold something new, the courage to stop hiding. From the shadows, Shane appears again, hands in his jacket pockets, cautious but not angry. This isn't the shouting match from before. This is the moment two people face the truth they've both avoided for too long. There's no grand music, no dramatic cut, just honesty. Tim's voice breaks the silence first. "I should have been there," he says. His tone is low, raw. "Every time I thought about calling, I told myself you didn't want to hear from me. But maybe I was just scared to hear what you'd say." Shane doesn't respond right away. The night air carries their silence like a fragile thread. When he finally speaks, his voice cracks, not from anger, but from years of missing something that should have been his. "You could have tried, Dad. That's all I wanted. For you to try." The emotion in this scene doesn't come from tears or yelling, it comes from stillness. It's the ache of two people realizing that forgiveness is a door that must be opened from both sides. The camera lingers on Tim's face as he takes a slow breath, his eyes glistening. He steps closer, carefully, as if afraid one wrong move could shatter this fragile peace. "Then let me try now," he says. And for the first time, Shane doesn't walk away. From the house, Amy watches through the window. Her expression is soft, proud, relieved, maybe even inspired. She knows what it takes to open old wounds just to let them heal right. Beside her, Lou stands quietly, her hand resting on Amy's shoulder. Neither of them speak, because words would only cheapen what they're witnessing, the start of something new built on the ruins of what once was. The next morning brings light that feels different, gentler, like forgiveness itself has touched the land. The horses run freely across the pasture, their movement graceful and wild, echoing the freedom now returning to the family. Tim joins Jack by the fence, and the two share a rare moment of peace. Jack, with his timeless wisdom, says, "Sometimes the hardest ride is the one that brings you home." Tim nods, no longer fighting it, maybe for the first time. He truly understands. Shane helps Amy in the stables, brushing down a restless horse. Their conversation is light, but meaningful. "You really love this place," he says, almost in wonder. Amy smiles. "Yeah. But it's not the place, it's the people who keep it standing." That line sums up the spirit of the episode. Heartland has always been about rebuilding, not the fences or barns, but the hearts inside them. The climax doesn't end in fireworks, it ends in stillness. In small human gestures that say more than any dialogue could. A shared breakfast, a long overdue smile, The family table feels full again, even with everything that's still uncertain. Shane hasn't decided if he'll stay for good, but for now, he's not leaving either. And that's enough. As the camera pans out across the golden fields, Amy's voice carries over the final montage. We can't change where we've been, but maybe, if we're brave enough, we can decide where we're going next. The screen fades to the Heartland logo, and the soft guitar theme plays gentle, emotional, and full of hope, because at Heartland, every ending is really just another beginning. The sun rises over the hills of Heartland, painting everything in a soft glow, the kind of light that makes even the scars look beautiful. The storm has passed, and what's left behind isn't wreckage but renewal. You can almost feel the land breathing again. Birds return to the fence posts, horses graze quietly, and the ranch, this sacred space that has seen so much loss, love, and change, feels alive once more. Amy steps out into the morning light, her boots crunching over the damp ground. She takes a deep breath, the kind that feels like a fresh start. Her voice plays in a quiet narration, steady and full of heart. Every choice we make, every mistake we try to forget, it all leads us here, to this place, to this moment. Her words drift over scenes of the family slowly piecing themselves back together. Lou making breakfast with Katie laughing beside her. Tim and Shane fixing a fence post side by side. Jack watching from the porch with that knowing half smile that says he's seen it all before. There's no grand reunion, no perfect ending, and that's what makes it real. Heartland has never been about tying things up neatly. It's about the small steps toward healing, the quiet forgiveness that comes from simply staying when it would have been easier to leave. This episode reminds viewers that the past isn't something to erase, it's something to understand. And sometimes that understanding becomes the bridge to a better tomorrow. The music swells softly as Amy rides Spartan across the open field. The camera follows her, wide and distant, capturing the endless horizon. Her posture is calm, confident, the same strength that's carried the family through every trial. As the wind moves through her hair, the voiceover returns. The past may ride back, but maybe it's only here to remind us how far we've come. As Amy disappears into the golden light, the narration fades and the scene transitions to the ranch in the evening, a peaceful glow wrapping around the house. The family sits together on the porch, sharing quiet laughter. There's still tension beneath the smiles, still things unsaid, but for tonight, it's enough. Healing, after all, isn't a destination. It's a ride, one that never really ends. Just before the screen fades to black, the tone shifts slightly. The wind picks up. A distant truck engine echoes on the horizon, headlights cutting through the dusk. The sound is faint but familiar, another visitor, another story waiting to unfold. Jack looks out into the distance, his face unreadable. And that's where it ends. A perfect cliffhanger, then the text fades in. Next on Heartland. The screen flashes short clips: Lou in a heated meeting, Amy comforting a frightened horse, Tim making a difficult decision, and a new stranger stepping into the Heartland yard. The narration closes the preview with a simple line that captures the spirit of what's coming. When the future arrives without warning, will the family be strong enough to face it together? The music fades out on that final question, leaving the audience with chills and anticipation. The screen cuts to black, and the familiar logo glows once more. Heartland Season 19. The episode may be over, but its message lingers, a reminder that even when the past comes riding back, love is what keeps the heart steady in the saddle. The screen fades from the glowing Heartland logo into the soft light of dusk, the kind of evening that feels like a sigh after a long, hard day. The ranch stands quiet again, its fences lined with gold from the setting sun. The camera drifts slowly across the open field, where the horses move gently, calm and free. The narration begins in a low, reflective tone, not just to end a story, but to leave something behind in the hearts of the viewers. Every story at Heartland begins with loss and ends with love, not the kind that's perfect, but the kind that stays. The kind that fights through the storms, the misunderstandings, and the miles between people. Because family isn't about who never left. It's about who always finds their way back. As the voice echoes, the visuals paint a quiet goodbye. Amy walks Spartan along the ridge, her silhouette outlined by the fading sun. Lou waves from the porch, laughing softly with Katie, the kind of laughter that makes a place feel like home again. Jack closes the barn doors for the night, pausing for a moment to look out over the land, proud, tired, but grateful. And Tim? He stands by the fence, watching Shane in the distance, knowing that while the road between them is long, at least they've started walking it. This is the heart of Heartland, not the drama, not the heartbreak, but the hope that keeps returning no matter how many times it gets lost. The narration continues, soft yet firm. The past doesn't disappear just because we wish it would. It lives in every choice we make and every memory we carry. But maybe that's the point. Maybe the past rides back not to haunt us, but to help us remember who we are.